Catia V5 export files in Digitized shape editor. Okay, so my last video was about importing files in Digitized shape editor. This was posted 12 days ago and it has a total of 86 views. Also, the number of subscribers has gone up by 11. So I would like to thank to all those people that decide to subscribe and support this channel. So, last video was about importing files. Let's go to exporting files. First, I will open a file. So over here on Artec 3D, this is a website of a company that manufactures and commercializes 3D scanning solutions. So I'm gonna pick this object. This was scanned using Artec Leo. This is a lion statuette. I will also leave the link in the description if you want to try. They have also a 3D viewer on the website, on their database with 3D models. And this will be the model. As we can see over here in the viewer, it runs quite smooth. So this is hosted on Sketchweb. I have the possibility to go on that and visualize it over there. But I can also go to Model Inspector over here and I can go to the wireframe. And we see that this model is quite dense, so it has a high amount of vertices. It is also triangulated, so the vertices are connected to define triangles, and the triangles will define the final surface of the object. But we see that the model is quite detailed. So let's go and have this downloaded. I will go over here on free download. Here is the license, so under Creative Commons license V4. Attribution to Artec 3D and a link back to our website is all you need to use. Okay, so I will leave this link in the description. And over here we have the available file formats. So out of the 4 file formats over here, the STL file is the most, let's say, common and optimal for Digitized shape editor for Catia. So I'm gonna go on the STL file and we are gonna see that the file has been downloaded. So I already have the file over here. Again, we have the license and we have the lion statuette. I'm gonna Ctrl+C the file and I will go to Catia, Start, Shape, Digitized shape editor, and I will have this imported. So this will be the first step. I will set the sampling to 100% and the scale to 1. We see that the file format remained on CGO just like the last time, and I will go to the STL file format. At the end of this video, we are going to talk about all the different file formats that you can import over here. So have it as an STL. I will hit apply and I will see that Catia will now start to import that file. So the model is quite heavy, just as you saw in that preview. And we see that the total number of faces, it's up to 5 million. And it has almost 2.5 million points, so vertices. We see that the import times for my computer was 8 seconds. Right now in Catia, as you can see within the video, there is a little bit of, let's say, delay when I zoom in and I rotate around the model. This is because the model is quite heavy. So during the next video, we're going to talk about activate, and after that we're going to talk about filtering. and over there I'm gonna use the same Lion mesh model for that, since it's quite a heavy model. So regarding the export, we go over here on the export button and we see export, and we have element or elements. We can also have multiple files, and after that we're gonna need to define the file name and the location for that. So in my case, since I only have this line loaded within this file, I have the possibility to have it selected. Axis system, I will set it to current, and since it's only one, we can go on either distinct or grouped. So I will go at this on distinct, and from this STL file I'm gonna go and I'm gonna change the file format. So I'm gonna have it exported as an ASCII file. So I'm gonna go on the first one, ASCII free. I'm gonna call this on my desktop Lion. I'm gonna hit save, and I will click OK. And now you see that Catia started to convert the STL file into an ASCII file. So that means that only the points, the vertices, will be extracted in that file. And now I have the possibility to have that imported within my file over here. So I'm gonna go up to desktop. I know that it was an ASCII file, and we see that the ASCII files has 100 megabytes, while the STL was heavier, so much more. Over here we see 244 megabytes for that. So we have that ASCII. I'm gonna hit OK, and now we're gonna have that file loaded within the scene. So depending on your computer, you can wait a little bit longer or less. For me, we see that the import time was again around 8 seconds. I'm gonna go and start this HW monitor. So my current setup is like this. What is important that Catia uses the CPU mostly. So over here we see the CPU. It's an i7 5th generation 5820K, and over here we have the clock speeds. But as soon as I will gonna rotate, the clock speeds will go up. But when they're in standby, they will be at this frequency. So keep in mind that if you have higher frequency processors, they work better in Catia. Also, Catia, this version V5, is not that, let's say, optimized with multi-core CPU. So if you have a Xeon CPU with a lot of course, that wouldn't help. But if they are at a higher clock rate, that will help. But if you have a Xeon processors, those usually don't have a high clock speed, since there are multiple cores on the same CPU. So now that I have both of these within my file, so I have the Lion statuette and the original STL and the ASCII file, I have the possibility to have those exported. So over here we see elements. I can open this element to export, and I want to move that also and this also. So I will go to distinct, and I will have those saved. For example, maybe I will make them a CGO file, like a Lion. If I will hit save, after that OK, I will see that now Catia will export those, but those files will be exported as distinct files. If I'm gonna go back over here on my desktop, we're gonna see these will be those files. So they were created at 6:30 p.m. So these are the two files. And let's have those again imported, but now in a new file. So for that I will have either I will have this deleted, so you can select elements, hit delete, and let's import some new files over here. So I want them to be SIGO format in this case. Usually STL is the most popular, so you can easily go with that. This will be one of those. So this will be this. We see the loading time. It's a lot faster with this file format compared to ASCII or RGB. And we also have the second one. That will be this one. Also the file size is smaller for this, so it's only 85 megabytes. And we have the second one. So we see that this file format only works with point clouds. If I'm going to select this point cloud and I'm going to go to analyze information, I'm going to see that the number of vertices is the same, just like in the ASCII file. Okay, so now let's talk about some other aspects regarding this. So over here I have the documentation for Catia v5 open, and we see that the available export formats from Catia are ASCII RGB, so that means that you have a point cloud that that also has colors, but keep in mind that Catia isn't able to properly load RGB files. Over here we see parameters for the import digits. We have the SG3, ASCII RGB. So the main difference is that over here we have the SG3. You can also go on this if you're gonna type in Catia freedoc.fr. If you're gonna search for this, you're gonna find it. I will also leave the link in the video description below. But we can also see over here the ASCII RGB file format. So mainly this keeps the color information is selected by default and lets you keep the color in those files. And if I'm gonna scroll down at the bottom, we're gonna see that the difference between an RGB file and a normal ASCII is that normal ASCII will only have the coordinates, so each point will have different coordinates. Let me open from my desktop a file. So I'm going to open this ASCII file. You can also have it open with something like Notepad, and this will be Notepad. So we see ASCII generated by Digitized Shape Editor Catia. We see the file format. So these are the coordinates for each point on X, Y, and Z. So it's a long list with those 2.5 million points. But RGB also has associated numbers, numbers for the value from 0 to 255, and RGB associated for the each color. So that's the main difference. Over here we have other file formats. So there are also the SIGO file format. There is also the GoCat surface. So this lets you import .ts files, and facets is used to create or not the faces of the imported mesh. So over here we have a preview. If you're gonna click on this checkbox, the faces will be created. If not, you're just gonna have the mesh like this, so not fully defined by a surface. There are also other file formats, mostly are specific to let's say some scanner manufacturers. So we have the GOM 3D file format over here. There is the HiScan, IGS is other popular file format. There is also Creon. So Creon is another file format. This is one of the first 3D scanners that I have worked with. So Creon currently still manufactures 3D scanning solutions that can be mounted on a CNM measuring machine, and you can scan various aspects with a high precision. And this is the first crayon scanner that I worked with, the KZ50 over here. We see that it managed to acquire, let's say, 30,000 points per second. So it was connected to a CMM arm. But keep in mind that STL file format is, let's say, the most popular. If you go on a website for some 3D prints and everything, usually STL files are the most common. Also, let's take a look at exporting clouds over here. So I'm gonna open this file, so export scan one cut part. I already have it downloaded over here. So I'm gonna have that, I can re-download it, and after that open it. So within the source documentation we have these files, so I'm gonna hide them all. And first we have the cloud import, so this is a point cloud just like we did with the lion. We also have a planar sectioning over here, but you see the planar sectioning is like this. So we have those area defined by these splines. And also we have a mesh that was created on the point cloud, and we're gonna talk about this mesh creation in a different video. But if I'm gonna go to export, I'm gonna have all those selected. So I wanna pick the cloud, the planar sectioning, and also the mesh creation, and I can have them all exported. I can go with this file format with cgo again. I'm gonna call it let's say T2. I already have that exported on my desktop, but let's do that again. I will hit OK, and I will have those exported as distinct files. And if I'm gonna hide those and go to import, I'm gonna go to the desktop, and over here we have the T2 files. So we have the cloud import. Keep in mind that it retains the original file naming. So over here we have cloud import. This will be the point cloud, and we see the reference over there. If I will go again to import, I will go on the next one with T2. So these are the three files that were created now, 6:37 p.m. We have the second mesh. I'm going to hit apply. This will be the second mesh. So again, just like with the lion, it will be a point cloud. If I'm going to go again and have the last element selected, this will be the planar sectioning within Catia, but you see the difference. The planar sectioning now is defined by points. So we have individual points for each of the sectioning plane, as the original one was like this, and now imported as a cgo file format will be converted to point clouds. So feel free to experiment with various file formats, but usually STL files are the most common, or you can keep them in the native Catia file format. Maybe you have some surfaces that you want to split within a mesh, you have that converted and to a surface, so you can do a clean cut over there. But I'm going to create some additional videos for those, because I already see that this video is quite long, 90 minutes already. Okay, so I will leave the videos that I talked about within the description. Also, if you haven't yet decided to subscribe, please consider to do that, since it really, let's say, encourages me to create more content regarding this, because a lot of people want to get into, let's say, 3D scanning and editing meshes and stuff like that in a CAD software like Catia, and you can find some good tips on this channel. Okay, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.